Hello and welcome to Toque and Tank Talk Tarot. Tank Talk Tarot. I'm just kidding, that's not what this is. This is Tarot Between Sisters. I am Lady Phoebe. Today we are going to do Tabby, the Enchanted Map. I gave her, we have a whole story with that deck. Whole story with it. I got one from a friend and she got it secondhand. And I don't know, I just couldn't link with it. I don't know what it was. And then Tabby came to visit me. And we cleansed it and we went through it and whatever. And I was like, I just don't link with it. And then another friend of mine happened to get gifted a deck. And he thought of me and said, hey, you might like this. And I was like, this is the exact deck that I've been wanting and whatever. So then I got this one, I linked with it. And then I gave that other one to Tabitha. And she linked with it. And so it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So let's see what the Enchanted Map has to tell us today. Let's see if I can get this before Corey comes home again. I taped one earlier and he walked in, and whatever, I can talk my shit when he's around, but the dog gets more whatever, and I don't expect Corey to like sit in one spot and not move. So there's a little bit more distraction. Goblins. Okay. Okay. I don't know why the first freaking thing that came to my mind when I saw goblins was nose goblins. Why am I thinking of boogers? Like, that's just weird. Okay, that's way too many. That's way too many. That's just weird. Ooh, I think one flipped. Or did it flip back? Okay, who knows? There it is. Sacred Pool. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of a picture. It's not about boogers. And then wide open. Okay. So we have this kind of is representing to me as a timeline. First card is goblins. And right away I looked at the number 5 and I got the feeling that you guys are right in the middle of learning what you need to learn or going through the lesson right in the middle, but you're almost losing hope a little bit because you've lost sight of the end. You are in the middle and you're kind of not recognizing how far you've come. And you're just sitting there wishing that you were in a different spot, but it's like, well, no, you need to get to 5. Like the numbers need to go from 1 to 10, right? You can't go from 1 to 9 and then expect to learn the lessons that 5 would have taught you. So being in that number 5, don't lose hope and don't lose sight that it is going somewhere. You are meant to be exactly where you are right now and celebrate where you've come. You've gone through steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're at 5, you're in the middle. You're not starting at the very beginning. So start to recognize that again. And then the sacred pool, dip back into your own sacred pool. So dip back in, go back in. Because right now I feel like the goblins kind of poke their heads out, right? Like even look, you can see the eyes there and then like the goblins. So they're like peeking their head out. They're starting to go away from going within. They're peeking their head out. And they're starting to like, oh, I'm unhappy with this. Oh, I'm unhappy with that. Oh, I wish I was further ahead. Oh, I'm not doing good. Oh, this sucks. I'm so tired. I'm like, so they're peeking their head out. And so right away when I saw that sacred pool, it's time to go back into your sacred pool. It's time to go within again. It's time to go swimming in your own sacred pool. That sounded kind of odd, but it's like, look at her. She's floating. You can kind of hardly see it, but that's her face and then her body's right here. And so she's floating and being suspended in her water and she's just, okay, I got to submerge myself again. So poking their head out, but you're being asked to submerge again. And when you do, when you go in, you are going to break wide open. And that's what we want, right? We want to be able to, so I just got this image. When we are giving into our fears and giving into our guilt and giving into our anger, it's almost like scar tissue. Like it kind of stretches, but like there's this tension here that wasn't there before, right? There's this really hard, you can't expand as much because that scar tissue is keeping you restricted. And it's funny because a lot of people think that that means that I'm safe. I've got this harder skin than I did before. And so I've got this harder shell that no one can break through. But guess what? If no one can break through it, then you can't break through it. So if you're sitting there and you're got that scar tissue, you can't break wide open and release all the love and release all the tension and just allow your world to fill up again. And so all of these are just saying, keep going, keep going. Don't get stuck in the forest with these goblins. Don't get stuck there. It's okay. Like, I get it. Sometimes you need to take a break. I understand. I've taken many breaks, but just know this is saying it's time to go back. So if you've felt that you've been on a break, so let's say you've done a lot of healing, you've done awesome healing and it's so fantastic, and then you needed to take a break. Because like I said, sometimes everything in divine timing, and we're not going to be constantly digging in to ourselves. We're just not. Our psyche doesn't want us to, right? The ego doesn't want us to. So it's going to make up little things to kind of take us away from that. That's okay. Don't feel guilty or bad about it because it doesn't matter. But, so if you felt like you were like, oh, I was going so good. I was like learning so much about myself, and you get on this like feeling this track, you get almost like a high from it, I hate to say, but you get to start feeling so good that you get excited about feeling better, that you're like, yeah, I want to do that. And then all of a sudden you'll notice, why don't I feel as good today? Like, I'm just not feeling as good, and I'm starting to get my angry thoughts again, and I'm starting to get this, I'm starting to get that. That's the goblins popping back up. So you're being asked right now, it's time to look at those again. It's time to do what you did the first time. It's time to get those tools out, dust them off, and start doing the work again. And then you'll notice that that's where you'll find yourself, and then you'll break wide fucking open. So the break is over, ladies and gents. Break time is over. You've rested enough, and you've soaked in these goblin gross thoughts enough. It's time to go swimming again and reap the benefits of that. It's time, baby. It's time. All right. Well, have a fantastic day. Choose love, then choose love again. Cheerio. I don't know why I did that. Cheerio. That's because it's like, it's time again. All right. All right. It's time again. Cheerio. Pick. Get to work. Get to work, y'all. I had like mixed country and whatever, right? So choose love again, and be compassionate to yourself and be compassionate to others. Mwah! Bye.